Hi everyone, I'm Kate. Welcome back to my channel. We're here for an in-person interview. I'm so excited. I want you to meet, I almost said mouse holder. I will never be used to that. That's how I knew her in high school. Haley Giza.
Hello.
And she's here to show us her amazing product. I can't wait for you guys to see it. I think everyone should have one, honestly. So can you introduce us to your product?
Sure. So my business is called SafeWorthy LLC, and we make personal protection equipment. This is one of our, thank you. This is one of our most popular products. It is called our full set keychain. And so our full set comes with a wristlet. This is a gel mace from Sabre.
Okay.
So Sabre is super popular. A lot of police officers use it.
Yeah.
What's great about this one is that it's a gel mace. So this comes out like a string instead of like a mist. That way if it's ever windy or rainy or stormy, it's not going to come back.
That is cool. I've never heard of that.
Face. I didn't know that was a thing until my husband told me.
Oh, yeah. See, my dad was a cop at one point, and he told me all about that. He's like, it is the worst feeling you will ever get, and when training, they had to spray it in their eyes so that they knew what it felt like and they didn't get caught by surprise. But he's like, it still hurts. Like the worst feeling in the world. So that's good.
Yes.
Someone did something.
What's fun about this one too is that you can actually detach it. So if you ever want to put that in your purse, and I'm gonna like just discard that for now, and so you want to just hold on to these two, so you're not carrying a full
that's awesome.
set. You can do that. Yeah, feel free to take that. Our next item is probably, this is my favorite item.
This is like perfect to hide under a hoodie sleeve.
Yes it is.
I love that. Sorry, go ahead.
That's fine.
I'm excited.
So this one is actually my favorite of all of our items. It's a personal alarm.
Mm-hmm.
So it doubles as a flashlight, and I usually like to hold it up to my hand because, you guys can see how bright it is today. But when you're in like the full light of day, you normally can't see it if I just like show it on the
You can see it on my
okay, so that doesn't count either. But when I'm at vendor events, people can't normally see it on the table, so I like to show it in my hand so people can actually see how bright it is.
Oh wow!
So
that's brighter than my phone flashlight.
Yes, they're very, very bright. And then so these are personal alarms. They have a flashlight, but they're personal alarms. So they are extremely loud. Mm-hmm. They are louder than your car alarm. So car alarms are about 97 to 112 decibels. These are at 130.
Ooh.
So they're very, very loud. Very ear piercing. We test every single one of these. So
that they actually work.
To make sure they actually work. Yep. And all you gotta do, and obviously I'm not gonna do it to us, but all you gotta do is pull the pin to set it off, and to turn it off, you deactivate it, you put the pin back in.
Oh, okay. So you can't accidentally press it.
You can't accidentally press it. Yep, this button does absolutely nothing. Apparently it's supposed to like trick people into thinking that that's how you activate it, but I would think that most people would figure that out pretty quickly by not pressing it. So I just roll with it now. But a lot of people have talked to me about they're very, very nervous about accidentally setting it off.
Yeah.
And to make sure that they don't do that, we actually tie it to its key ring.
That's
keychain.
Awesome.
So that's not coming off. Like, you gotta really yank it in your purse.
Can I see that real quick?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, so as someone who works with kids and, has little ones around all the time, young mom, anything, this is great because they won't accidentally set it off either if they're just, playing with you next to the park bench or whatever. That's fantastic. Yeah,
I love that. Especially if you tell them it's the button. Now,
Mom's little secret.
Now these are these are not age restricted. They are legal in all 50 states.
Awesome.
The pepper spray is illegal in certain states. And then, so for example, like Alaska, Massachusetts, New York, and Hawaii, I believe.
Sorry to you people.
Sorry, guys. Sorry. And so, but these are actually, so they're non-age restricted, and they are they are legal in all 50 states. A lot of parents will sometimes ask me, like, I don't want to give this to my kid because they're not going to know the difference between, you know, like setting it off because they're in trouble at school or setting off because they have someone following them. And I said, well, test it out next to them.
Mm-hmm.
Let them test it out, because I have a friend who, she's my best friend. She lives in West Virginia as well, and she has 4 kids, age 4 to 14, and she actually got a personal alarm for each one of her kids. And
I recommend.
Yes, and they actually tested it out in the car because it was not on purpose. The little one was having fun with the flashlight, and he was just like clicking, and then somehow he was like, and he pulled it.
Oh, no.
And so, but luckily, she has reported that none of them have pulled it since, because they know, okay, for real, Mom is not lying. This is only if I'm in trouble.
And, I mean, all you have to do is teach your kids it is not a toy.
Yeah.
This is the circumstance. Don't be afraid to tell them about the world. The more they know about the world, the more they can prepare for it, the less scared they'll be.
Definitely. So, I highly recommend these. And we're starting to get really cute ones. So we're starting to get bear ones. We're starting to get owl ones, which is going to come in the...
I saw. Someone's going to fight me for that.
Our last item, this is our brand new window breaker. So we used to have a plastic cased window breaker that was a 3-in-1, and it was a window breaker, a seatbelt cutter, and a whistle. Those we found were, because they were made of plastic, they felt a lot cheaper.
Yeah, I saw those on your website. I was like, how do these work?
So, and the other unfortunate thing is we started finding out that not all of them did.
Oh.
Luckily it was someone who was part of the safety business, and he came up and he actually tested his, after he bought it, he tested it, and he came back and he was like, hey, this one doesn't work. Can I get a new one? So we tested another one. Luckily that one worked. But we were like, okay, let's get ones that work, 100% of the time. And so when I say 100% of the time, guys, I test every single one of these. So just like the alarms, I test every single one of these. So
thank God you do.
Yes, so it will work. That's why I say 100% of the time. Normally I don't speak in absolutes. But these are nice because they're aluminum cased, and I'll show you. They might not be, well, I actually can get up and show them, but it's a beveled tip on the inside, so you can even see it sparkle in there a little bit.
Oh!
You can see like the sloped edge.
Yeah, you can.
So let me see if I can get it. Your camera is on that side, so let me see if I can. You guys can see how it kind of shines in there. You can see the...
It almost looks like those screwdrivers you put together.
Yeah! So there's that. And then on the other end is a seatbelt cutter.
Oh!
And what's nice about this one is our other, the plastic casing ones, the seatbelt cutter was a lot longer, so it would catch on the seatbelts, which, if you're in an emergency, you don't really want it to catch.
Yeah, no.
So with these being a lot shorter, it's less likely to catch.
Nice.
So we really enjoy these, and I say these are heavy duty, but I mean, as you could tell when you were holding it before, it's they're 2 ounces, so they are very, very light.
I love that.
A lot of people will look at them and be like, oh, that's heavy, and I'm like, try it yourself, because it's...
These are so cute too.
Aren't those cute? I actually just got those in yesterday. They are so cute. They go so well with the red window breaker.
Yeah, they do.
And
it's a perfect compliment.
Yes. And so I love all the colors. And the other thing that's really nice about those is that textured center that they have.
Yeah.
It's easier to grip. And so when you're testing the glass, when I test those on tempered glass. So it's your car width tempered glass window. So it's not just on a slim little piece of mirror glass. And so that textured portion really solidified why I wanted those. Because it's easier to hold. It's not nearly as awkward. And they're just super cute. Grip. They look great.
That's awesome. Now, as someone who lived in Florida most of her life, the first thing that comes to mind when I think of breaking a window is when your car goes into the water.
Yes.
So would these still work if you were in the water, like a seatbelt cutter, all that stuff?
Yes, that's
Really?
that's what they're for. So
Perfect.
that's primarily what they're for. But in
Excellent.
order to get out of your car, should you be underwater, should you be, God forbid anything else.
Yeah.
I mean, if you if you're stuck in your car with you're without AC and you need to get out.
Yeah.
That's what that's for. So,
I love
yes.
that. That is fantastic.
So those are.
That is fantastic.
Product.
Aren't those cute? Okay, so I've got just 7 questions here. Easy peasy.
Okay.
I think you'll love them. So how did you get into this business?
Ooh, so that's a fun question. I used to be a bank teller, as you know.
Yes.
I did not like being a bank teller. And so I was a bank teller, and I knew a lot of bank secrets. I knew a lot of bank codes. I knew how to get in and out of their departments, in and out of their branches, and
you know.
And they would tell us things like, "Hey, make sure you change your route, because if you don't, someone's gonna follow you to the branch, and will probably break in." And so that, of course, didn't help my anxiety.
Yeah.
And so I was like, okay, I need to do something about this, because I also started working I'm not going to call it the night shift, I'll call it the late shift.
Yeah.
So I was working in Old Town,
Mm-hmm.
and I wouldn't be getting out until 6:30 or 6:45, because I would have to, lock everything up. I'd have to make sure everything was ready to go.
That's always the fun part.
And, walking out when it's starting to get dark outside.
Yeah.
At night. Yeah. And so I actually asked my bank manager, I said, can I get a taser, because I don't feel safe.
Mm-hmm.
And she was like, no. We're like, she goes, that is, while it's a less lethal weapon, it's not something that we would allow on bank property.
Huh.
And so I was like, okay, I want to get around that. How do I get around that?
Yeah.
And so I was like, okay, personal alarm. So that's the first thing that I got. The very first thing that I got was a personal alarm. And mine was actually a ladybug, and I still have it. I love it. It's super cute. And so very, very loud, and that helped me feel better. But I also was like, okay, I want something that if someone's going to be near me,
Yeah,
that I
coming
can
up right behind you. Yeah.
And so then I thought, oh, pepper spray.
Mm-hmm.
And so I searched for different pepper sprays, and I originally started this business with a different brand of pepper spray called Mage Lolly, and it was okay, but I really wanted the gel, because like I said earlier, string, not going to come back and get you in your face.
Yeah.
Nobody wants it to come back and get them in their own face.
My neighborhood is very windy. I don't want to be walking around this neighborhood spraying it in my face by accident.
Right. And so my husband actually did the very brave thing and tested it.
He did not.
He did.
Oh my goodness.
In the house. And we should not have done that.
In the house?
In the house. He did not even spray it like on himself. He just was like, let's just see, because he knew. He was like, honey, this is not a good brand.
Oh, instant regret.
Yeah. And so he was like, I'm just going to spray it. And, he goes, I'm not going to spray it at anyone, but I'm still going to spray it because I want to see what happens. Now, thank God we figured it out, because it honestly just caused us both to cough.
Mm-hmm.
And my eyes watered a little bit because I wasn't used to that. But that was all that happened.
Yeah.
And so we thought, we can't.
That's not good enough.
That's definitely not good enough. We got to get a better product.
You're taking your life in your hands. You need to be sure.
So we recalled as many of those as possible. I mean, I shouldn't even say recalled. We stopped sending them out, and we contacted as many people that have had them before as possible. And we were like, hey, if you, and any of you watching, if you have one of our old ones, just contact us, and I will send you a new one, because I do not want you having that old mace. I do not like them. And so we switched to Sabre. What I love about Sabre is that even though I don't test them individually, they are an American-made company, and they test every single one of those.
Wow.
So, or at least a good chunk of them. I know that they do their own testing. I actually have a fact page on my website about, you know, like how do they test them? What do they do? What percentage of the spray is actually, you know, the hot pepper? So, like, I have information about that on my website, and it's on their website as well if you guys are interested in checking that out.
Nice.
But so I started out off with those two, and I originally got into Couboutons. I'll wrap this up. I'm sorry. I know it's only the first question.
You're good.
But so I originally started off with Couboutons, which were defense rods.
Yeah.
I really liked the ones that were more shapely, I guess you could say, that, you know, fit between your fingers.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I found out Virginia has, and a lot of states, not only Virginia, but a lot of states have some very specific rules about those.
Oh, really?
So if they are too close to brass knuckles, you can't have them. Virginia, you can't have brass knuckles.
I didn't know that.
I know, I didn't either until somebody told me, and I was like, oh, I gotta read up more on this because a business owner, I should know this. And so I eventually did away with those. I'm looking into doing just the plain flat rod because those by themselves, Couboutons are okay.
Yeah.
It's just if they are too much akin to a brass knuckle, that's when you get into issues.
Yeah.
So I started off with those, but when I heard about the brass knuckles, I thought, I don't want to chance that, so I'm going to switch to a window breaker. Because the other thing is that the Couboutons could be used as a window breaker as well.
I love that.
And so it was basically just subbing one thing out for another.
I love that. Keep going. My dad's knucklehead. Y'all remember Holly?
The kitty.
He's being curious again.
Just...
He's being curious again and getting into stuff.
I gotta get into the stuff.
Plastic, especially. He's a crack addict when it comes to plastic. I don't know what it is. My cat likes Q-tips. He likes plastic. Don't you eat it. So, how has the overall product done since you started?
I would say it's done pretty well. I have been doing a lot of vendor shows out at from anywhere from here out to Elkton. I've gone to Harrisonburg, Hagerstown. So I go about 2.5 hours away. Fredericksburg, and actually, speaking of Fredericksburg, I was contacted by a property manager about possibly having a class done.
That's
awesome. So that's really
exciting.
exciting. And I'm not going to share her name or share what property she's with because it's still under talks. We don't know what we're going to do. But, that is definitely something that my husband and I are looking into doing together, is doing, like, safety classes.
I love that for you.
It's so
that is
exciting. Especially because, you know this, but my husband has been in the safety and security world for about 9 years now. And so, he's done the pepper spray to the face. He actually has a video of him getting pepper sprayed.
Oh my goodness.
And so it is so funny because he looks so young. And I'm like, honey, this is before you and I met. And he said, this is before I met myself. Like this.
I like that.
So, because he was just so young. He's like, I don't remember that time of life anymore. And
my gosh, that's funny.
But so we would do classes, and it would be a lot about, Title IX and where you can use these, how you can use these, what the law says about self-defense versus when it crosses over into territory of, aggression. And so, that's just different things we would do. So it's growing. I haven't done nearly as well online, which kind of stinks, but I love doing vendor shows so much, so that makes up for it.
Oh, that's awesome.
I
see when you have the little tables and everything, and I'm like, if I were just a little closer and it wasn't when I'm working.
I brought my stuff today. We can go out to my car and you can look through it and pick yours.
I'm going to look. I'm going to look. Definitely, because I'm still going to be working with kids over the summer, so,
right.
and this neighborhood,
speaking of that, I actually do one of my other products, and I'll make this very, very quick, so we can get on to your other questions.
You're
fine. If you are afraid, I know we talked about the personal alarm. If you still are too afraid that your kid's going to get a hold of it and pull it, and it'll all be okay. But if you still don't want to chance that, I do have the option to do a DIY keychain. Oh yes, he is so cute. But let's toss him.
Yep. Go on. Go on.
Sweet boy.
Go bug, Dad.
But so I do have the option to do a DIY keychain, which would include a wristlet, a whistle, which is, I believe the whistle is about 110 decibels, so it's a little bit quieter than our alarms, but it's definitely louder than your car alarm stuff.
Yeah.
And then you would do 3 add-on keychains. So you could do like one of our Stanley safes. You could do fidget keychains. You could do, we have cute like little flowers and puppy dogs and stuff like that.
I love that.
So I have some that are functional keychains. We have paracords. So we have some functional keychains, but some that are just fun and cute.
That's awesome.
So that one's only $13.95. So that one's like a blast doing it with kids and parents, especially because, a lot of kids, I don't know per se out in West Virginia, but especially in, Virginia and Winchester City, they walk to school. So they still want some kind of protection, but they don't want to take the personal alarm because, the schools might take it. Teachers. So that's another option. And so that would be something that, if you don't want a chance having the alarm, but that'll be up to you.
Yeah.
We'll look.
We'll talk.
Yes.
Definitely. Because you set off an alarm, a car alarm, anything around my neighborhood, all of a sudden it's like the Twilight bark. One dog sets off another dog, sets off another dog, all across the neighborhood. And it's like, no one's getting any sleep. All right. Do you have a favorite set or piece?
Ooh.
You have so many cute ones.
I have so many cute ones. So my favorite item is definitely our personal alarms. I highly suggest, anyone, as much as I want you to anyone to buy the full set, I have no problem, like, if, they're kind of like, I don't want the full set, I'm like, okay, personal alarm. Of course, part of it is because, support local, buy local, like, I want you to.
Yeah.
But at the same time, that is one thing that it's going to, and I'm going to say predators because reasons, but like it's going to scare most predators away.
Yeah.
Because like, and I say predators because people, bears, coyotes, like stuff like that, it's going to scare them away.
Yeah.
And so like you have this thing going off and you're like, you got it in your hand and it's going off, like nobody's going to want to come near it. Like we're going to be like, forget that.
Yeah. They want the easy prey.
Yeah.
They want the easy job.
So, I highly suggest the personal alarms. They are my favorite above all. Now for my favorite keychain, I have a set that it's all black, and the wristlet is it's mostly black, but it's got roses on it, and it's so cute.
I love it.
So cute. And so I actually have that one with me in my car because I was like, I can't sell this one. I like it too much.
I love that. That's fantastic. So what would you say is your most popular, like, overall set? Like, what theme would you say is your most popular? Because I know you've had so many, like, holiday themes and, what was the teacher week and all that stuff? Yes. So, oh my gosh. So that'll probably have to be a tie between the teacher week. We had a lot of teachers create their own, the DIY, and one of the add-ons that they could do was a badge reel. Yeah.
And so we had a ton of badge reels that said things like, all negative vibes will be returned to sender.
I love it.
And then some of them just said, like, teach the change you want to be in the world. So some of them were cute, some of them were funny. One was said, single, taken, hungry. And it had it had like little boxes, and so the single one was blank, the hungry one was blank, and then it had a check in the hungry. So super cute. So
I love that.
Those are a hit.
Yeah.
And so I would say those are probably the biggest hit when there are a lot of kids around. Because especially because kids talk about things. So,
Yeah.
like, I had one experience in the Sportsplex where I had a set of 3 sisters make their own, and then they went around to all the other kids at all the other tables, and so all the kids wanted to make their own, and so of course
monkey see, monkey do.
Mm-hmm. And so it's so much fun to do that. So those are very, very popular, and other ones that are really, really popular are the animal ones. So I have wristlets that have like kitty cats or penguins. I'm working on getting ones that have sloths. I don't really like the color scheme that it has. It's gray and yellow, and I'm like, but it's sloths and they're really cute. So I'm thinking about going for it anyway. And then there was one with I think there was bats on it for Halloween. I haven't released that one yet because I got it after Halloween. So I'm waiting.
Stay tuned.
Yes. And so those are also really popular because people are crazy about their animals.
Yeah. So. I love that. That's fantastic. So do you have a favorite place that you've sold your merch?
Ooh. Do I? Okay.
Like I know you got to do Apple Blossom this year, right?
I actually didn't.
No.
So I mean, I went to the parade, but I didn't get a chance to sell.
Fake news.
Yeah. I didn't get a chance to sell anything at the Apple Blossom. I wanted to, and I hopped on pretty quickly, and I was asking about it because they have like that vendor arts and crafts fair.
Yeah.
But by the time I asked, they were already booked. And so I was like, darn it.
Man.
But that's
next year. Next year.
I've got them on my list next year
to
contact. So I would probably say I really like selling at the local places. So when I say the local places, I don't necessarily just mean around here. I mean like the venues, like barn venues, or the wineries, or like the local the places that only the people in the hometown would really know.
Yeah.
And it's not because they don't typically have great traffic, but they're so beautiful and the people are so nice.
Yes.
And so there are some that we'll get that do have great traffic.
Yeah.
But there are others where it will be pretty slow, but it's still great because the people that are there are so nice, and they're normally like ready to talk to you about your product. They want to know everything about your product, and they want to know everything. Yes.
I love that.
And so they want to know everything about everybody else's product too. And so we have a lot of people that will just come and just want to listen.
That's fantastic.
And so it's really cool to be able to sit and talk to people about your product, about what you do.
I love that. And I can just imagine it too. Like, I need to come down to one of these days.
Yes.
How would you like to see this grow?
That's a good question. So, I already sort of answered with, my husband and I thinking about doing the security classes. We are looking into expanding to stun guns. We're looking into expanding into knives.
Wow.
Though the knives, we would have to be very careful because Virginia is very particular, and you would have to check with your state too, because states' laws are very, very particular about knives. We would have to be very aware of that. We're thinking about possibly expanding into firearms.
Okay.
And so we really want to blow this up into all things safety. We're thinking about doing first aid kits, camping gear, maybe not specifically camping gear, but like first aid when camping. So like paracords, emergency blankets, emergency generator, like crank generators, stuff like that. And so my husband and I would do it together. I would do the less lethal, non-lethal portion, and he would do more of the knives, more of the firearms.
Yeah.
So that's what we're looking into. So that'll be really fun.
I love that. You should look into like teaching the Girl Scouts and stuff like that.
Fun.
Look at the high schools, the middle schools, because that's when boys and girls start to hang by themselves, I mean.
Yeah. We would need to be careful though because we would have to very much censor what we say in the high schools because I wouldn't be able to bring this. High schoolers, middle schoolers, you can't bring a full set with you into school.
No.
Some schools might allow you to bring a personal alarm, maybe, but you would have to check your school. And so we would really censor it. But yeah, that would definitely be something really cool because my husband and I both have a very big heart for, especially for the, he prefers high school, I prefer middle school, so it's kind of perfect.
There you go.
So that is something though that I didn't necessarily think about. So
that's awesome.
We'll do that.
And because I like to throw in a random question at the end, just to make it fun. What did you want to be when you were younger? And have you told me this? Do I remember? That is the question. The question within the question.
So there were a lot of things that I wanted to be like growing up.
Right.
It started off as I wanted to be an animal cop. I loved watching Animal Cops on TV, and I almost said Facebook because that's how I watch them now. But I loved, the Animal Cop shows, like the Animal Cop Miami, Animal Cop San Francisco. Like I loved all of those shows. And so that's what I wanted. Like that's what I wanted to do until probably about 5th grade when I actually learned my 5th grade teacher. I don't know why, but I just did not like her. I'm like,
you didn't like her? Or she didn't like you?
No, I didn't like her.
Oh.
And I'm like, I am so sorry, Mrs. F. Like, I will not say her full name, just to keep her anonymity. But I don't know why I had such a huge problem with her. And I think I was just, preteen and just not.
Yeah.
I think I was just being a stinker.
And sometimes you just have those personalities that just clash for some odd reason. They just do.
Right. But the biggest thing I am thankful for was that grade I learned that I wanted to be a writer.
I do remember that. Yeah. I remember that.
And so it's ever since from 5th grade on, that's all I ever wanted to do. I mean, this is really fun, but this is still something that I do on the side right now.
Yeah.
And so because that teacher, she actually had us write a book, and it had the chance to. Now mine wasn't published, but we had the chance that if it was good enough, it was going to be published. And we actually had a publishing company come to our class and talk about the process. And we had our books made into like an actual book. They threaded it for us.
That is awesome.
They made the hardcover. So that really sparked my interest. And that from there on out, I was like, that's all I wanted to do.
What an amazing opportunity. That is awesome.
Especially now looking back on it, I'm like, I should not have disliked her so much. She was what gave me the passion. And so, so that's what I wanted to do. That both of those, but yeah, writing. Once I got into 5th grade, that I completely forgot about the Animal Cop thing. I was like, nope, no more.
I love it.
Yeah,
that is fantastic. I do remember the writing thing now. That's one of the things we had in common.
Yes, yeah.
I love that. That's fantastic. All right, so you had something that you wanted to show us.
Yeah, so in here I have...
So you can actually see it.
Right. So I have I usually test our car safety hammers or our seatbelt cutters, our window breakers, whatever you want to call them. And so the thing that I like about our manufacturer is that they actually provide glass. Okay. They provide tempered glass for each one of the window breakers that is in the box. So it only comes in a pack of 3. And I'll hold it up here. I'll probably come closer so you can really see it. But you'll see the 3. You can see the 3 different colors from here. So
those are cute.
Aren't they adorable? So the only 3 colors that we've got right now are the black, the silver, and the red. I like the black one. I think it's very, very sleek and very, very nice.
I like that.
And so underneath of it in the back is where the tempered glass is. And so you guys can't really see it so much, so I'll kind of like tilt it so you can see the reflection of it at least. And so I'm going to pull these out, and I am going to basically show you guys what I do. You're not going to really see it because the camera's over here, but I'll at least show you what I do, and like how I do it, and then I'll show you the result, basically.
Do I need to back up or something?
If you want to, you can. You don't need to.
Just in case.
Because
what I'm
gonna do is I'm gonna put this. I'm basically not gonna talk while I do it, so that you'll hear the glass.
Yeah.
So I've got the glass in the.
Oh, that's thick.
It is very thick. Yep.
Oh, it's heavy too.
It's very.
Yeah, that is actual glass, people.
Yeah, and I'll bring it up to the camera.
Oh, I hate that I put my fingerprints on it. I'm so sorry.
It's okay. It's gonna shatter anyway.
Italian.
And so you guys can see. Oh, maybe there we go. You guys can see how thick that is. There we go.
Nice.
Yeah. So that is a very thick piece of glass. This is tempered glass. So this is exactly what's on your car window. And so I just essentially I put it in a box and I lift up the flaps so that it hopefully doesn't extend everywhere. And so I'm going to go ahead and do this, and you'll hear it, and then I'll just show you what the glass looks like afterward. So that was,
oh wow,
that one worked just fine. Yep. And then the glass shattered.
Awesome.
So you could hear not only,
See if you can hear that.
let's see if I can.
I don't know how loud that was to you guys, but that was pretty loud in here. I wonder if my cat's still under the bed.
I'm going to try to tilt it to show you, but not.
There you go, you go.
There we go.
Look at all that. Look at that.
So it, like, they almost, like, pop. I guess that's
it was like a pop.
Right. So it's really cool to see how each one of these works.
Mm-hmm.
I actually have yet, with this manufacturer, I have yet to have one that doesn't work.
Wow.
And I've tested probably about 50 of these at least.
That is so cool.
Yeah.
Hold that up.
Yeah, just be very careful. Very careful because they can be very, very sharp.
Look at that.
So, and that's what will happen. Your glass from your car window will pop out as well. So that's very good.
That is fantastic. Thank you for showing us this.
Thank you for letting me show you. It's always fun to do that, and I do have the option at some, not all of my vendor events, but some of my vendor events, I will let people test out the window breaker because they ask like, does it work? And I'm like, you want to see it?
I have to admit, I'd be a little anxious, like, okay.
Sometimes
First time I'd be a little anxious. Second time I'd be like, let me go again.
Yeah. Sometimes I do it for people so that they can see it, and then I'll ask them, okay, now that you've seen me do it, do you want to do it?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I do also have a video of myself doing it. It's on my social media if you guys ever want to check that out.
Mm-hmm.
And so like my husband is holding the camera over the box so you can actually see it pop.
Nice.
And it break. And so I show people that video sometimes too. And usually after they see the video of me doing it, they're like, okay, so it's not going to come back and like break skin or anything. No, and it won't do that. It shouldn't do that, at least. I've never had it come back and break any skin.
User friendly, anyone can use it.
Yeah.
I love that. Speaking of social media, I hear you've got a little something for us.
I actually didn't plan that. I actually didn't plan that tie-in, but yes. So we've been doing it was probably midday yesterday that I did a free giveaway on my page on Facebook. Now I realize it is Apple Blossom weekend, so a lot of people are out and about at the parades, they're out at the carnivals, they're not really on their social media except to post pictures and then go.
Some of us are having technical difficulties.
Yes.
I told you technology doesn't like me. Go see my first video, all about it.
So because of that, it was originally supposed to end early, about an hour or two ago, and we were going to do a reveal of who won. But because it's, everyone's out and about. It's just we don't have a lot of traffic on that. So we do have a free giveaway, and I did want to show you guys what it is. So it is this is the wristlet. It's a purple marble wristlet.
You can go close. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was like, I think
this is the one I'm going to fight you for.
Look at that cute little. So I'm trying to. It's almost too bright. Okay, there we go. So that's purple. I knew you would like the purple.
I do like purple.
So this is also a personal alarm, but this is like an owl personal alarm. So it's super cute. I'm gonna move it there so it's a little bit.
So cute.
It's so adorable, and the light is just as bright as the other ones. So I do it down there like they can see it down
Yeah.
there. No, you can't. And then this is a super cute little, so this is, I call these my Stanley safes. And so you untwist them and you can hide things inside. So
nice.
You can hide, money inside there. You can hide chapstick. You can hide your AirPods. So another product that we have is actually in my hair right now, and I'll show you guys. I know it's a weird.
I was gonna say.
It's a weird saying, but I promise I am not lying. So real quick, I'm gonna extend this to tomorrow evening, which is gonna be Monday evening. The giveaway, and then we will announce on our Facebook page.
Mm-hmm.
So,
and if you missed it, I will let you know on my YouTube channel, on my community post as well.
Yes, yeah, that'll be so much fun. So this is the other thing that we have. So I took it out of my hair. These are scrunchies, but they are hidden pocket scrunchies.
Oh, so, I've seen those.
Yes, a lot of people have seen these on TikTok, and these are so much fun. So,
I love that. As someone who wears scrunchies and stuff on my wrist all the time.
And I have a ton of these. I have these in black, gray, green, mustard yellow. I have them in tie-dye. And so they have a hidden pocket on the inside. And these, I actually have my AirPods hidden inside. And I even have my AirPods on one of those like little loop-de-loops because my AirPods fall out of my ears all the time. So I have one AirPod, and I'm going to pull it out so you can see it, like pull it out of the...
That is awesome.
So those are very big pockets.
The material's nice too.
Right? Yeah, and they're nice and velvety if you want to hold that.
Yeah.
So,
you can't tell the difference. I have a scrunchie just like this.
Right.
Only different color.
So, those are only $2.
Wow.
So, yeah, those are very much fun. Those are very much fun. They're very much fun.
Very much fun.
They're very fun. And so those are a lot of fun to show people because people are like, there's no way it goes the whole way around. And I'm like, let me show you. And so I'll usually pull it, and then I'll just pull because it goes. I'm pretty sure it goes the whole way around. Yep, yes it does. And so you can really fit a lot of stuff in there.
Fantastic.
So if you ever don't want to carry your wallet, you can roll up some money and put them in there. Now you can't really put a card in there because that's like too flat.
Yeah.
Too long.
That would be obvious.
That would be but cash. You can put your AirPods. You can put you can hide. Heck, you can't really hide the full mace. I mean, no, actually, you probably could be a little obvious. It would be a little obvious, but we do have smaller mace that I almost brought with me today, but I didn't bring them. But they would be perfect to hide in here. Though it might be a little bit hard to get them if they're in your hair. So,
yeah, you can't get it in time.
Right. So that's that. I thought those are fun though. So.
I love that.
Thank you.
This is fantastic, and I know this is way off.
Yes.
Way off, but these are like perfect stocking stuffers.
Yes, they are, and especially around Christmas.
My mind immediately goes to Christmas.
Especially around Christmas, I do a lot of sales.
Yeah.
And I will do, like, the more you get, the bigger discount you get. So there was one lady that got, I think she either got 6 or 7 from me. And I gave her a 50% discount. Because she got so many from me.
There you go.
Now, I'm probably not going to go up to 50 again because of, the processing and the manufacturers and the tariffs with all the overseas manufacturers and whatnot. But I will still be going up to about 40% off.
That is awesome.
So definitely, and usually around holidays, I do some kind of, percent off. So I usually, around the smaller holidays, like, trying to think, because Easter is bigger, so I'm not going to say Easter, but for example, for Easter I had 20% off. Now for things like Flag Day, Columbus Day, I'll do smaller discounts. So I'll do like 5% off of your entire purchase, or 5% off of a single item. So I'll do smaller deals on like the less significant days, but on the bigger days like Easter, New Year's, Christmas, I will do very big discounts, so keep an eye out for those.
That is awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming in today. You have no idea how happy I am to see her. see a friend from high school.
Yes.
Thank you for coming in and showing us this stuff.
Thank you for having me, and thank you for I love anybody who loves this things that I love.
I mean, and like I told you guys before, again, first few videos, go back and watch them. I'm not doing this to be famous. It's just something I'm doing for hopefully more than a year. The goal was just a year, but I'm really enjoying it, and I love just giving back and helping out other people with their dreams. You know, I mean, you got something that you want to tell other people about, you need to get the word out, please let me know, message me. I would love to sit down with you guys and let people know about it and spread the word and help out. So definitely go check out that contest. All the links to her website, her Instagram will be down below in the description box. So make sure to like and subscribe. See you guys in the next video. God bless. Bye.
Bye.